coming into it, did you have any kind of nerves that maybe, the whole talk that Cork suit playing Limerick, that, styles make fights and all that? Had you any concern about this, or what was the mood in Limerick?
Yeah, there was. I mean, Cork had clearly built a lot of confidence, built a lot of momentum. But like people had asked who had improved more over the championship since they met 7 weeks ago. I felt Limerick were really under par in that Munster Championship game. Even down the home stretch, they got 2 goals in half-time before half-time to put a bit of breathing space between them. But down the home stretch, Cork could have got a goal and for me, snuck a victory in that Munster Championship game. But I thought Cork were as good that day as they were today. I know they've got victories along the way, but maybe we look back now and look at maybe some of their opposition in those games. But I think Limerick have come on leaps and bounds. And that's the way they'd set out their training session to peak today, and that's exactly what they've done.
Is there that first half against Tipperary was obviously the worst hurling we've probably seen Limerick play in years, but the second half, do you think the second half or the third quarter even against Tipperary was more or less impressive than the 70 minutes today? Because it was just like a third quarter for 70 minutes.
Yeah, it was, and that's obviously what they went back in training. And if you can do this for 30-35 minutes, why can't we do this for 70? And look, I still think it was more Limerick weren't switched on in that first half than anything tactically superb that Tipperary had done. There was a number of things that Tip did that worked a treat for him. And, if anything, Limerick learned from that, and it was a great education for Limerick to look back and see where they were dragged maybe out of position and different things, and the role of Jason Ford and whatever. But Limerick weren't switched on. And it was maybe just the ammunition that Limerick needed and the rest of the country didn't want, because we've seen the backlash since the 35 minutes that followed the semi-final against Waterford, and here again today. The Tipperary, what's the saying, poke the bears or whatever, and they awoke the beast, because Limerick have just been absolutely relentless since the return from that halftime dressing room.
I can't see this stopping. I can't see this Limerick run stopping at all. Maybe in a couple of years' time, when, I don't know, maybe Declan Hannon, if he ever goes past, well, they obviously will at some stage, if he goes past his peak, or maybe, the rest of the lads are pretty young. Grode Hegarty's maybe 27, so it's a long time before these guys are going to be going over the hill, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's a long time, and the reality is in Limerick, we're not used to this. We've already spoken about the barren years. It's hard to know how long that hunger can continue, but it certainly hasn't shown any sign of slowing down. The age limit, the age bracket is certainly in Limerick's favour. There's no one on the starting 15 that you would think are ready to call it a day. I do know there's a lot more babies appearing in the aftermatch pictures, all right, so that tells its own stories. But the nucleus of that team are kind of 2013, 2014 minors, sprinkled with the likes of Nicky Quaid, Declan Hannon, and Graham McCahey, who came on as a sub. Everyone else is of the same era, the same vintage. Maybe down the line that'll be something that might come back to haunt us, that there's such a crop, all of the same age limit. But when you're winning like this, it's a lot easier to mix in a couple of young fellas along the way. And if you're hurling in Limerick right now, all you want to be is part of that county setup.
If you enjoyed this piece of content, please follow us on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, which helps the channel grow. And if you want audio podcasts, go to patreon.com/ourgame.